happy to be alive? Say yes.
Yes.
Are you ready for the poetry slam? Say heck yes.
Heck yes.
A poetry slam is a friendly competition between poets performing original work judged by 5 members of the audience. Judges, throw up those scorecards for me, that whiteboard that Miss Wise gave you. Judges, what you're going to do is you're going to write down the score from 0 to 10 based on how you felt about the poem, using 1/10 of a point like Olympic scoring. 0 is the lowest score you can give. A 0 is, I would not use the piece of paper on which that poem was written for anything. A 10, my friends, a 10 is I would use the piece of paper that poem was written on for anything. For example, it's Thanksgiving, everybody's there, you're running a little bit late, and you show up wearing a suit made out of the copies of the poem that you gave a 10 to tonight. That is a 10, okay? All right, same scores that you give at the beginning of the night, give them all night long, all the way to the final round. You don't have to like something just because people start booing you, okay? I gave you the power of the white marker, use it wisely. Are you guys ready for the first poet in the slam? Say yes! Yes! Make some noise for Ebony. Make some noise for Ebony, everybody.
As I'm walking, when I'm standing, or when you cut in front of me mid-step, do you even see me? Of course you don't. How could you? You would never think to look at a shadow. Why? Because like my blackness, darkness is defined by what it's not. It is defined as the absence of light. So it's no surprise you didn't see me. I understand that light can be contained, absorbed, and measured. That's why I've been defined as the absence of it. When something is unbound, it's often controlled or removed. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is no limit to my greatness. I know you're not used to acknowledging my existence, but don't worry. I have no intentions of outshining you. Instead, I plan on redefining myself. That's why I'm here to officially demand a revision to all dictionaries. That especially means you, Oxford. I'm here to claim my rightful place in this unbalanced lexicon. Darkness is not the absence of light. It is simply the interception of it. You say you don't see me, but you wear me every time the sun blinds you. In the summertime, when you have sun-kissed skin, I protect you from being kissed too hard. I'm fully aware that some people use me to hide their sins and secrets. I also know that I gave birth to the moon and stars to illuminate the night. Meanwhile, pollution from the city lights below can eclipse the brightest of stars. Yet darkness brings out their brilliance like a perfectly cut diamond. I define you just as much as you define me. In fact, there would be no you without me. I am everywhere. How could you possibly not see me? As darkness recedes until the unveiling sunrise, light covers everything it touches. When light reflects off of the world, darkness cradles it with gravity. Even the entire universe is made of darkness. I existed before Alpha and created years of light traveling the farthest Omega. The moment a star collapses, I can create black holes that even light cannot escape. And yet I'm the one considered a minority. So the next time you say, I didn't see you, remember that every time you blink, I am present. It's impossible to not see me. I am everywhere. Therefore, I will no longer be defined as the absence of anything.
Yeah.
God, just tell me the truth. I'm beginning to look like my father, giver, Pop, the man who made me. Oh, how his caged bird of a mind boggles God. Is it really fate of some kind that I cannot find my freedom wings to fly, words to sing, no hymns, hums, notes, just choking on the same smoke as his? The thought provokes me, God.
You are the old ache in my knees and my popping right shoulder.
My mother's maiden name is Brown, so I wear brown 24/7. I'm sorry if I'm not black enough. Black is not a color, it is a value.
I have followers who call me Cyclops because I'm a one-eyed man leading the blind. But on second thought, how would they know how many eyes I have due to them all being blind? But there I guess I go, beating dead horses again. I'm a cliche.
He spit me out, didn't he? with the same starving art locked in a suicide bomb of a heart that's on the verge of attacking. Well, if my father is a broken home overreacting, then what does that say about me?
For out I was not, closeted safely on the inside of my mind, terrified that the real me would never crack open the doors of humanity.
So you got that move you bust out 3 times a year that you keep in your front left pocket, right? And when the circle opens up and someone tries to serve you, you serve the whole room, correct?
So what a night, oh, what a night to make some sexual love. Sexual love.
Hoping none would deem you fit for firewood. But we were like termites, too timid for the axe, chewing quietly through you.
So he left his wife, his seed and his need, and put a for sale sign on the outside of his picket fence dreams before counting the cost. And he lost everything, from the teeth in his gums, to the drum in his step, to his house, to his home, to his breath. And before he left, he manifested his destiny in me.
I'm sorry I can't be Superman, flying faster than a speeding bullet in time to save the world with superhuman strength without any weaknesses. But I can be Batman, saving the world with the help of my gadgets, being called to save Superman in the hour of his greatest need. You don't have to worry about me cringing in the sight of kryptonite. You don't have to worry about doomsday killing me. I am Batman. It's not a joke. I'm sorry if you thought Michael Keaton was Batman. He's not.
Sorry, baby. I didn't mean to do that, I swear. It will never happen again.
I'm kind of bored of being a cliche, and I'm wondering if being bored of being a cliche means I'm not a cliche anymore, or is that just a cliche for cliches? Or if wondering about being tired of being a cliche means I'm not a cliche, it's a cliche 22, hashtag meta cliche.
It's hailing. Little bouncing reminders of your crazy weather and your sisterhood with chaos. Only the scrambling scourge of the sky could calm your eyes and trembling hands. I loved when the lightning danced off your smile.
And you sat up there, drinking your beer in your rocking chair, and you laughed as my father crafted me into the aftermath of a coke epidemic. And how pathetic of me to think that you don't lie, that there's no flaw with you, that you don't build men out of the fabric of the falling stars, equipping them for crashing. Well, with this man's timeline flashing before my eyes, how am I supposed to see me like him, right? No light, just dim night trapped in his hindsight.
But you've got to know, I want to be what I'm not. I want to be so much more. But that's just because I'm a cliche.
I'm sorry for loving the same girl since I was 14. I'm sorry if you don't know who I mean. I haven't told her yet, so I don't want to put her name out on the street.
You gotta taste the food sometimes, like with your hands, like walk barefoot on the earth, like, you know what I mean? Like, be there, you gotta feel it in your body, right?
And you'd fall asleep listening to the pouring rain, like I am now in this cold, damp chair, leaning on this notepad, falling asleep to thoughts of your soft hands through my hair.
Trying to get where free is, but I cannot get through the door. And God said he cannot save me. You are the mouth that named me, the breath that gave me. Won't you tell me where my key is, man who made me?
In Northeast Philly, in West Philly, in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and a question that one of my students asked me because there was a word she didn't know what it meant. And I wanted her to never forget what the significance of this word was in her life. And this is my last prayer for all of you, to speak your piece, even when it's unpopular, and even when people will stand up and tell you to shut the fuck up. Jump on a table and fucking say it anyway. And this last piece is the question she asked me word for word, and it's called, what is genocide? And it goes like this. Their high school principal told me I couldn't teach poetry with profanity, so I asked my students, raise your hand if you've heard of the Holocaust. In unison, their arms rose up like poisonous gas and straightened out like an SS infantry. Okay, please put your hands down. Now raise your hand if you've heard of the Rwandan genocide. Blank stares. mixed with curious ignorance, a quivering hand out of the crowd, halfway raised like a lone survivor, struggling to stand up in Kigali. Luce, are you sure about that? No. That's what I thought. Carlos? What's genocide? They won't let you hear the truth at school if a person says fuck. Can't even talk about fuck even though a third of their senior class is pregnant. I can't teach an 18-year-old girl in a public school how to use a condom that will save her life, and that of the orphan she'll be forced to give to the foster care system. Carlos, how many 13-year-olds do you know that are HIV positive? Honestly? None. But I do visit a shelter every Monday and talk with 6 12-year-old girls with diagnosed AIDS, while 4th graders 3 blocks away give little boys blowjobs during recess. I'm an 11-year-old gang member in the South Bronx who carries a semi-automatic weapon to study hall so we can make it home. And you want me to censor my language, Carlos? What's genocide? Your books leave out Emmett Till and Medgar Evers. Call themselves world history and don't mention King Leopold, or diamond mines call themselves politics in the modern world and don't mention apartheid. Carlos, what's genocide? You wonder why children hide in adult bodies. Lie under light-color eye contact lenses, learn to fetishize the size of their ass, and simultaneously hate their lips. My students thought Che Guevara was a rapper from East Harlem. Still think my Mumia t-shirt is of Bob Marley. How can literacy not include Phyllis Wheatley? Schools were built in the shadows of ghosts, filtered through incest and grinding teeth, molded under veils of extravagant ritual. Carlos, what's genocide? Rosaline, how old was she? ¿Cuántos años tuvo tu madre cuando se murió? My mother had 32 years when she died. Ella era bellísima. What's genocide? They've moved on from sterilizing Boricua women, injecting indigenous sisters with hepatitis B. Now they just kill mothers with silent poison, stain their loyalty and love in the veins and suffocate them. What's genocide? Ridwan's father hung himself in the box because he thought his son was ashamed of him. What's genocide? Maureen's mother gave her skin lightening cream the day before she started the 6th grade. What's genocide? She carved straight lines into her beautiful brown thighs so she can remember what it feels like to heal. What's genocide? What's genocide? Carlos, what's genocide? Luce? This right here is genocide.
Do you write?
Do I write?
Do you write?
Do I write?
Do you write things?
What kind of question is that? I write. I write a lot of things.
Do you write
Down on
poetry?
paper.
Writing.
Do you write?
I do. I write my grocery list. I write letters. I would say I write a lot of post-it notes. I do quite a lot of writing.